Okay, so what you do with this is called a word tree. And the idea is that you put a root word in the root section of the tree, and you're going to help students see all the branches, all the growth from just one little root. So today's root is spec. And I would like you to think of any word you can think of that has the word spec. And if you look over here on the side, you have some options, and click on the fourth one down, which is your sticky note. And let's see, I can think of the word inspect. So I'm going to write inspect, and I'm going to hit save, and we should see it pop up. So if you could choose, just write 1 or 2 sticky notes, just keep going until we see them all. Be sure to hit save, and it'll pop up on the screen. And you're welcome to move them around as you want. Ooh, that's a good one. You got any more? Keep writing. See how many we can get in the next 30 seconds. And make sure you haven't covered up somebody else's. Ah, there we go. Got anything else? Oh, there's one. Do you see all of your words? Ooh. Okay. Now, when we look at this, do we want to, are there any guesses we can make? Thank you for moving that. Yeah, move them around a little bit. For what the words, I lost my root spec here. What does what can we make of the word spec? Any guesses? We have speculate, respect. What does spec mean? What does that have to do with? Inspect? Any guesses?
Looking?
Right. So spec means to see, to view. Let's try it out. That's our guess. So what does speculate mean? How does that to view? Well, let's start with an easier one. Let's start with inspect. How is that to see or to view? You're looking carefully at something, right? Introspect. How does it work with that word? We're looking inside ourselves. Spectacles. I got them right here. We're looking. Okay. So what we would do with students is go through a good number of these words or break them into groups and have them apply the word, the meaning of spec to each word and see if it makes sense. And it should, though it can raise some questions, like expect looks a little bit different from spec, but that's because our language is so funky that X's turn into S's sometimes, and S's turn into X's. So there's a conversation to be had here about how to figure out what a word means. And if you know what spec means, it suddenly makes other words richer. You start to understand what their meanings are. Now, another activity is to go through each of these words that you have and see if you can add other prefixes. So with the word inspection, I can think of the word just inspect for one, and I might put that over here. Inspected, inspects. So you can start seeing how many more words you can add to the tree once you start adding suffixes or prefixes to the words that are here. Another way is to, like, after you do that one day, we just have them do a brain dump on all the spec words. You can make that activity that I just mentioned of adding suffixes to certain words more visual by making a branch. And you can take this little line right here, and if you have chart paper, it's easy enough to add it in when you're in the classroom. So you organize students' knowledge. They start to see how one word, this is now a base word, inspect, can have prefixes and suffixes added to its branch to create many branches. And then ultimately you're going to have something. I mean, look at this. This is, this is the power of our root words and our prefixes and our suffixes. They create the linked knowledge in our brains. Students will start to see how words connect with each other. And so in the classroom, we use chart paper and just give I usually give groups the tree, tell them just to draw a tree, put spec at the bottom, and then draw your own branches. And it's so interesting to see how some people go ahead and start organizing them and others don't. And so but that would be a nice follow-up activity if they don't.